This is what the overnight leaderboard looks like as we head into Sunday. Hannah Zhang by 6 from China's Shanshan Fang. He Young Park is 7 shots back from the lead. Leanne Pace and Brooke Henderson are 8 back. And Sakura Yokomine and Hyoju Kim spot the leader 9 as we head into Sunday. And Jodie Hewitt-Shadoff, after her 62 yesterday, is also up on the front page of the leaderboard.
And in our final group, Hannah Zhang, well, she was in delicious form yesterday, firing a 62 to lead by 6. Shanshan Fang is the world number 14, and Hee Young Park, one of only 2 players to shoot all 3 rounds in the 60s.
Very true, especially in the rain today. It's a real judgment call how much spin you will get, if any, out of this.
Wet.
Yeah, this Bermuda grass.
Well, yesterday, the way she went, she could have got up and down from the Fubon suite behind the back of 18. She was incredible, and so was Jodie Hewitt-Shadoff. A couple of 62s to match what happened here a couple of years ago when Miriam Lee and Inbee Park in the second round of the 2014 Fubon both shot 62 on that day as well. Pretty easy for the caddy to work out a yardage here.
Well, I just hope she can hear him. It's that windy out there, they're having to stand that close. That's the dynamic partnership of Hee Young Park and Jeremy Young. They joined forces at the British Open this year.
Well, she's got 80 yards to the front of the green. Plays 3 paces downhill. A lot of elevation change here at Millimar.
There are huge gusts of wind here. It drops for a second, and now all of a sudden it's picking up, and it's just howling right now directly into a pin all the way back. It's not going to be an easy one to judge.
This is the part of the golf course where the players are really affected. 5, 6, 7, all running in much the same direction, and it is straight between their eyes.
$108 yards to the pin today.
Contact is good. It's going left. It's hanging out to the left. Oh, it's okay, but coming up shy. That has a lot of hang time about it.
Well, this is where you hope.
Hee Young Park on the first par 3 on the golf course. Bogeyed the first hole. Looking to claw something back here. 149 yards today. And just a kick in for birdie.
At the 4th, one closer.
The world number 66, Hee Young Park, had a good birdie on the 3rd. Here she is on the 4th. That ball tracked beautifully into the hole. A couple of birdies early on for Park.
Lead was out to 7. They were the highlights from earlier today. So this is what it looks like at the moment. Hannah Zhang leading by 7 after leading by 6 at the start of the day. Hee Young Park finds herself 8 shots adrift of our leader, but importantly just 1 shot adrift of second place, and there could be a battle within a battle going on today. Jodie Hewitt-Shadoff has continued her great form from yesterday, picking up 2. Steady as she goes for Leanne Pace and Brooke Henderson, but it's Hannah Zhang setting
9 on the final day. Couldn't back it up though.
Well, this part is for a double bogey for Hee Young Park. It's got a big full stop to any kind of challenge she could possibly mount. Can't afford any drop shots, let alone double bogeys.
Well, she's going, it won't be long before she's 20 under, but she's got a bit of a battle on her hands here at 7.
Hee Young's turned this one over right to left, so whether it picks up the green, I don't think so.
But it must be incredibly gusty out there as well, because it looked like the flag wasn't fluttering anywhere near as much as it was back on the tee. The wind, it's so hard to judge. We saw a couple of shots in the last few days of players thinking it's a lot less club, and the wind just hits it as you get close.
Yeah, it almost looks like a scene out of Jurassic Park. I'm just waiting for T-Rex to come out of those trees at the back of the green, but yeah, it is interesting conditions at the moment. South Korean.
Park also coming up short. Needs to get this to the back hole. Go. Oh, that's the way to do it.
That's a good illustration of just how deep that at the start of the day. Anytime those opportunities come along, you need to jump out and take them with both hands. Good recovery from Hee Young Park out of that deep trap. She's had a mixed day today. Started off badly, made a bogey at the first, then she picked up that shot with a birdie at the third. She then made birdie at 4 and then come up with a double at 6. And her numbers have been pretty consistent throughout the week. Her iron play late in the day yesterday was just sublime.
15 out of 18 greens. She had a lesson a couple of weeks ago with her coach Sean Hogan, who also teaches Lydia Ko, and they put a lot of work together on the range. She's one of the best ball strikers and a very, very good swing.
Yeah, she said she worked a lot on ball shaping as well, which has come in handy this week, being able to hit it high and low.
Hee Young stays tied third, but that's the good news. Herself, third place, all to herself. Hannah Zhang, having dropped that shot at the 7th, leaders back, well, it's only 7 now. She's starting to get concerned. Shan Shan still thinking that it might be possible, but everything is going to need to go her way. Considering the conditions we've had.
Mound that splits the fairway down from the 250-yard mark to the 290-yard mark.
Hee Young also bringing this down the left. Wind's coming slightly out of their left as well. Very tight, but again, it's going to be really good. It'll find the centre of the fairway.
Yeah, you really have to land the ball in that left rough to get it to stay up on that left top tier. Just makes your approach shot all the more easy. But I think her game plan with her caddy has really been rock solid this week.
Yes, it was interesting having a chat with him yesterday on the golf course. You were asking, how about the next hole? She's going to hit driver over the left bunker. They had a very clear game plan when they set out yesterday.
97 for Hee Young. Good angle in, looking pretty good. Oh, pretty long. Gosh, it's hard to judge with this big down breeze.
Now you're calling it a breeze.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it.
It's always so hard to know whether that...
The ninth tee, Hannah Zhang just going through a little bumpy patch. Possibility of back-to-back bogeys. She's only made one previous to the one she just made at 7 in the whole tournament. So Shan Shan's got a little sniff out there in worsening weather conditions. Leanne Pace, Brooke Henderson, 9 shots back from the lead. It's going to be a tough day at the office on
the 5th hole.
Just a nod to our hard-working crew out there. Very difficult conditions out there. And as they continue to ply their trade, hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching around the world. Driver stays in the bag for Hee Young Park at 9.
Just trying to bring this down the centre. Now the wind's got that a little bit. It's moving to the right, but there's plenty of room. It's okay. You've really got to take this wind into consideration and keep on this left-hand side and let it drift back.
It seems counterintuitive to hit driver on, a whole...
Wide nature of the LPGA, as we're in the second of 6 events in this Asian swing. And Sandy McKenzie is along for the ride on all 6 of them.
And I'm looking forward to every one of them. It's a wonderful swing to be a part of.
This is one tough shot.
It is a tough shot, Kate. Rain's just stopped for the moment and wind's just settled temporarily. 169 is the figure to get it all the way back. Now taking it, oh, that's gone way right. This has gone the water. It's way right.
Oh dear.
That's what we call an unforced error there for Hee Young. It's a tricky one there for Shan Shan Feng.
You got to think this is a break really, for Hee Young Park, being able to drop it so far up. I mean, the point where the ball last crossed the margin of the hazard.
About 8 inches, the size of your average seahorse. Hee Young Park at the ninth, chipping over the undulations and coming up with a beauty, and she's given herself a very good chance of just dropping the 1. Day 5 now. Shan will be thinking, I can still get this done, you know.
Well, that's a very good bogey. And for a poor second shot, it was a very tough hole to tackle, but a frustrating front nine, though, for Hee Young Park.
Always good to be colourful, but when you get a lot of colours on the scorecard, sometimes it's not so good. And Hee Young Park now finds herself back down in a tie for 7th with Jodie Hewitt-Shadoff and Alison Lee. Hannah at one stage had it out to 8, and now her lead over Shan is back to 5. Still 9 holes to go. Leanne Pace, the wins at the office.
Yeah, well, there's going to be no shortage of tailwind here. Just got to try and keep the fairway on this hole, though. It's uphill all the way. It's quite a climb. And if I can get the pages unstuck together in my yardage book, I'll tell you where the pin is, Pete.
Oh, Sandy.
I'll tell you, Sandy, it's 8 on and 4 from the right.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that.
Note for next time, laminate each page.
Yeah. I'm going to need to. You might have to start giving me the yardages from in there. Hee Young coming down the centre again. This is a really good-looking shot. Yeah, that'll be absolutely fine. But it's getting quite heavy conditions. The fairways are quite wet at the moment.
Do you want some good news, Sandy?
Yeah, go.
From last year, brought the rough in.
We had a funny conversation at dinner last night. Mo Martin said that she shot her 2 ages on the front 9 and the back 9. She went from 33 to 34, and then the entire table erupted, said you better stop playing golf at about 37 or 38 because it's all downhill from there.
Okay, well, naturally there's a massive tail breeze here. Just 125 to get it to the flag. It's a bit of a sucker pin on a day like this with the wind blowing behind. Hanging out to the right. No, short too, and that is what can happen with these short pins downwind.
And Sandy, we can hear how wet that fairway is. When Hee Young walked to the ball there, we can hear the squelching of the water under her shoes.
Yeah, it's like that in a lot of places, Pete. You walk around and it's squelching and you can see a little bit of surface.
Come off the lead, it presently is 5, could easily be 4, and who knows, maybe even 3 in a few minutes. And then we are seriously back to game on status. It is Hannah Zhang leading from Shan Feng, but the contest is hotting up in round 4 at Miramar.
Just fractionally further left for Hee Young, but again, plenty of room out this left-hand side. It's going to be in great shape.
Lots of ways you can keep in contact with the tournament. Join the conversation on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram from wherever you happen to be watching around the world. Great to have your company for our final round coverage. Peter Donegan, Kate Burton, Alison Whittaker in the commentary box. Sandy McKenzie getting just slightly wet out on the fairways.
Yes, Pete, I do have a question for you. Got some room in your luggage for our flight?
Is finding the form on this back 9.
And we should also mention, for those of you who might have been away, that Hannah Zhang has played her second shot in here to 11, but she is some 50 feet and maybe then some away from the hole. So all of the momentum, Kate, at the moment is with the star from China.
Most certainly, and also Hannah Zhang's putt is no picnic either. It's a bit of undulation. It's going to be a double breaker She might be able to get some idea from Hee Young.
I can tell you one thing, it has certainly taken the smile off Hannah Zhang's face. She's really got quite serious all of a sudden.
Well, it might be a good time to be doing that, Sandy. When you led by 8 not that long ago, now it's back to 4, and there's every likelihood it's going to be less than that in a couple of minutes' time.
The one good thing she's going to have is a read off Hee Young. They're a pretty similar line. First part of this has got to move left to right because it falls away, but this little back plateau does flatten out.
Hannah was having a pretty good look at what that one was doing.
A little bit at the moment on 12. Perhaps a little out of reach at the moment.
Hee Young's got a good look at what Hannah was able to do with her putt a moment ago from a similar line, not exactly the same line, but she'll get a good idea of the pace over about 4.5, 5 feet. And she'll learn nicely from that. Hee Young remains -7.
Lead at the Coates Golf Championship with Co. Then she had the outright lead at HSBC Champions, where she went on to win by 4.
First part of the equation, get it out and get it over that lip and mound in front of you. That's the first part done.
It's going to be an intriguing back 9 with just that 3 shots that separate Hannah Zhang and Shan Shan Fan. There's not many leaderboards on the back 9, and some players like to look at the leaderboards.
Yeah, and I know for a fact that Shan Shan Feng doesn't. So she's just going to be trucking along. She does have that mobile leaderboard, though, following her around, so she might not be able to really avoid being aware of what's going on. Hee Young Park on 12 from the rough. Has the luxury of being able to land this one a little short, roll it back there. Oh, and that's exactly what she did. A birdie opportunity for Hee Young Park.
Not to be confused.
Beginning of the season. Park now with a chance. This to remain at 7 under par. And just trying to ignite Hee Young Park's round. A costly double bogey on the front.
Have to keep your sense of humour out there in this.
Someone once said to me, there's no point in getting worried about things you've got no control over.
Double check, make sure that wind is going to get us pulling you. It's definitely that club. It's just how hard you're going to hit it.
Great numbers out here, as you said, Sandy.
Stock, but a little right, a little bit left.
I was really stunned. They're very resilient because it's tough going.
Wow, fair to say she's aiming right.
And the interesting thing is they're being right of the flag. You're coming into a flatter part of the green. You're not catching that downhill slope off the back of the bunker.
Solid round player from Chinese Taipei.
But she's got a battle to overtake Hyoju Kim after what she's been able to do at the last 2 holes, 12 and 13, with absolutely brilliant iron shots. And she looks as though she's got one hand on 3rd place. But it's Hannah Zhang still 3 in front. Shan Shan, the charge has slowed momentarily, but you get the feeling the way this day is evolving. But
Two really nice birdies in 12 and 13.
Hee Young Park lining up her putt at 13, and the world's greatest rainmaker, Alison Whittaker, has made her way out to the golf course. How are you travelling there, Ali?
Yeah, doing so well right now.
Yeah,
just
I thought
floating
so.
by the 13th green at the moment. He Young's got the wind off the left. It is actually a factor at the moment. Should move a little left to right.
And right into the middle.
That's a very good birdie for He Young on a very tough hole too. So nice and firm, rattled this one in. They like this. Anything's a bonus. It is accessible, but it's going to be all about playing into the wind.
It's 137. It's really playing more up around the 155 mark. That one long right for He Young. It's such a gusty wind at the moment. I threw grass in the air. It went 3 different ways. So hit and hope.
Good angle to come in, but a lot will depend on how much she is in the rough. He Young's seen the heroics of Shanshan and Hana. She's got the putter in hand, and she's come up with a beauty as well. There are 3 really good shots from all of the members of our final group.
Well, I'm not sure what the ruling is, but I know that Hana Zhang and her caddy have requested a rules official.
I wonder if they're worrying about a damaged hole again.
It does look, if you look on the side of hers is, or from here, it's like at 10 o'clock on the hole there. Looks like there's a little bit hanging down there. So maybe, again, a little bit more damage to the hole.
From the flagstick in all likelihood,
Yeah,
because of the bend of the flagstick in these breezes. So we just hit the pause button for a moment as we wait for Dan Maselli or Brad Alexander or one of the very busy rules officials to get out there.
Yeah, and they'll just...
Don't think left.
From the LPGA.
No, they're already there.
Coming out just to have a look at this, and she, of course, will be the only one who can repair that. The players cannot touch around the hole.
Thank you.
So she's tapped that down, Donna, from the LPGA, and now He Young will go ahead to try and just roll this one in for her par to stay at -9. She's on her own in 4th place at the moment.
Hana Zhang, she was under pressure. She doesn't often show it, but now the smile's back on the face. Bit too early to be thinking about what she might say at the presentation ceremony yet, because the gap is only 3 and it's still game on. Hyoju Kim now under pressure from He Young Park in 3rd place, and good days for Candy Kung and Carlotta Saganda. Hana Zhang, our leader by 3 in the closing stages, the final round at Miramar. Who we mentioned before with that great round of 69. Here's He Young.
Shot.
Well, not much roll on that ball.
Not a lot.
We're virtually coming straight down. Very elevated, straight into the wind. But a very ordinary lie. She's not the next to go. It will be He Young first, but yeah, I wonder how she's feeling after seeing that go in, Hana Zhang.
Well, at best, you'd think she'd get up and down from there. So that makes it 2 shots. So it seems to be a 2-shot minimum, or maximum lead, I should say, and it could be less than that. But first things first, this is very quick from where she is. He Young Park, And that was always the trouble in stopping that coming out of that lie.
Yeah, it's very heavy going there, and just got a little too much club on that. Very 4 over through about 13 holes there was amazing for Lydia. Young Park, this is a par putt after having a very difficult pitch out of long grass to try and control downhill. She's ended up here. Now she's currently at -9, just even par 4 today. In a tie with Candy Kung for 4th. Oh, beautifully done by Hee Young. Nice putt, little bit of break in it. Good par, good up and down from where she was.
It is a testament to the ability of these.
Have it in her mind. She probably didn't even know what she's scoring. It's just, I'm close. I need birdies. I need to keep applying the pressure. Now to Hee Young.
.118 for Hee Young. This one drifting left on the wind. Will find the green. Oh no, it won't. Well short. It really hung up in that wind then.
Yeah, got hit by a gust by the look of that because of the way it dropped down so quickly. So definitely advantage Shan, even though we haven't got a ball on the green here at 16. But the drama's going to continue, and the drama has been set up by many of the things that happened in the last hour. Let's recap them for you now. And we just saw Hee Young Park, and here she was with her third shot at the par 5 12th. She'd gone out in 38, so it's been a struggle for her early on today. Double bogey on her card, but she was able to get her first birdie of the back 9 with that wonderful approach at the 12th. Shots of the day.
Played safely into this 13th hole. Huge downwind. They were playing for their seconds, and then benefits by.
Galleries are with them at 16. They've been braving the weather, but those who have braved the weather have seen an intriguing contest, a great battle between these two players. And it didn't look like being a battle at all. It looked like being whether Shan would be able to hold off the rest of the field and finish second. A third of the way through this round, but in this wonderful game, things can change very quickly, and they've changed today.
It's been interesting to see the temperament changes of Shan and Hannah in the last 2 holes. Shan's gone into business mode. Hannah wanted to chat all the way down 15. This one looking very nice from Hee Young. I should point out that both Hannah's chip and Shan, I presume that she will putt from there. They're both quite holeable as well. Hannah's got putter in hand, so after what happened on the last hole.
And is -4 on today's round with just a hole to go. So playing the 9th, which is her last hole. So what a big finish for her.
Yeah, it's all about what you can do in your respective part. You have to take what you've scored over the first 3 days, but come out and do something good on Sunday and feel good about yourself, and she's been able to do that.
Now Hee Young.
Well, it's getting really wet out here. This one started right as well, drifting right, but a friendly bounce. It's 150, but it's got to be playing up about the 175 mark with all this rain.
And she's not going to be on the same line as Shan, but she's going to putt first by the look of it, and she might just give her a feel for the pace of that. You are thinking par at worst. There's only been 7 players who haven't made their part. So even if we give Hannah Jang the worst score, that means if she can par here and Shan Shan pars, then Shan Shan is going to have to make eagle up the last to get in the playoff. So this is massive what's about to happen now.
Yeah, if Shan Shan could manage to roll in a big putt from here, and she's very capable of doing that, it would make Hannah Jang's just a lot longer.
Yeah, it's a real moment for Shan Shan Feng to apply some pressure. She's been doing it all day, just breathing down Hannah Jang's neck, but it's a tricky putt to read. There's 2 grain changes in this putt as well. It's down grain for the first half in the last 6 feet. It's into the grain off the left. So a lot of calculations going into this one.
And there is a very good indicator of what Ali was talking about there from our high shot camera, where you see the change in colour there, that darker area that He Young is standing in. Where that changes colour is where the grain changes.
Yes, exactly. So you can see a difference. First part is going one way, last third is going another way. So Shan Shan's going to be able to get just a helpful feel. It is, as you said before, Pete, it's not the same line, but it'll give her a feel for the pace and basically what it's going to do once it gets especially up around the hole.
Let's not forget the importance of this putt, not only for Shan Shan to have a look at, but for He Young too, because she is in a 4-way tie for 4th, so if it falls, she'll join Hyo-Joo Kim at 10 under. Good strike. Well, that's a really good putt that she's hit there from long range in difficult conditions, and that shows Shan Shan something, that she's going to need to give it plenty to get it to the hole.
Yes, the one person keen to get around.
Hole to win, but probably it's going to be eagle to get in a playoff the way things are looking.
Don't you worry, she'll be trying. She'll have that Mercer working hard on that exact figure on the next hole.
And even then the eagle might not be enough, because if Hannah can make birdie coming up the last, then that assures the victory. If she can tap hers in, as He Young has done. And she's saying good job to herself too. So she's got that breathing space as she comes to the final hole. It's been shortened to 428 yards. So you'd think that par is going to be the worst score that she should make. At least you would think that way. So Shan Shan is going to have to find... Still got a chance of getting a share of 3rd.
He Young on the tee, final hole.
Strike is good, trajectory a little low, but it'll find the fairway.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine there as well. The most important thing on this hole is to try and find the...
Henderson has moved up into equal 3rd. So our last 3, and He Young Park still with the opportunity of getting up and joining Brooke Henderson and Hyo-Joo Kim in that tie for 3rd.
He Young can certainly get there. It's only at 193 to the pin, but you're going to have to aim at least 20 or 30 yards left of this to write it back on this breeze right now. Well, safely out to the right for He Young.
Yeah, just a nice little area there for a little He Young to play her little pitch.
Hey guys, please, I'll just give her a long time.
And that was not our camera, but some cameras behind our camera that were troubling He Young just a little bit.
Oh, she's having this practice too, Pete. Just again, well done to all our crew out in the golf course. The camera boys are amazing. Fantastic job.
Well, still that distance remaining for a tie for third.
And so that's why Hannah has marked hers to be the last player in, and then she can really celebrate a win. Important putt this for He Young at -9. She's down in 5th place. She can jump up into a tie for third with Brooke Henderson and Hyoju Kim at -10. A good result. Just even par today too, so she'd love to pop this one into finish in the red figures on today's round.
Few dollars on this for a share of third. And a disappointing way to finish for He Young Park, but she'll look at the results and she'll think, well, I've done pretty well. Anytime you can finish top 5, you've done a very good job, and that's what she will do. So the way is clear for Hannah to get it done. Overriding emotion at the moment, even though she's got that smile on her face, will be more relief than anything, because for the last 2.5 hours, even though she was never headed, that was in the balance.